So, today I want to talk about an idea I have to stop asteroid impacts because recently it came out that we really don't have any good way. If we had under 6 months of warning, we're definitely doomed if there's a large scale event. Well, first of all, a lot of space tech companies coming up with new technologies and stuff is going to really help out. But something that I've thought about for a while that has not been widely out there proposed would be a giant inflatable, almost like a balloon or a basketball field or a blimp or something that can push the rock. And I drew this as an asteroid in this inflatable thing. And the reason why that would be good, because if we just explode something on the surface, how we distribute the force is really hard to predict. And how massive everything is. I think even break up chunks that come flying to Earth. If we have a big inside inflatable thing pushing it, compared to a high impact or explosive something, the force is much more even, and it's also more predictable how everything moves because it gets rid of a lot of the uncertainty of how the forces are distributed throughout the whole thing, so you can make a lot more accurate predictions. You could even have the whole giant inflatable thing. You could pop it to at the last second to really propel the whole thing forward. And you can mean and people have already made ones that inflatable devices that are bigger than giant football fields. Behind it to move it, you can either use impact from aircraft, so you could blow up nuclear bombs safely. I know it sounds weird saying safely blow up nuclear bombs, but then you won't have to worry about nuclear bombs splitting up the asteroid, and it will repel it, and a bunch of other things that are already out there. The size of a couple football fields, one of high strength material, can live filled into like a small. You can fold it now pretty compact into like a couple meter by couple meter box. So imagine how much a starship with a couple crew capacity could do. The other idea I want to promote is that instead having many small telescope satellites throughout the whole entire space. Now, bigger telescopes are better for astronomy because all the fancy equipment, you don't have to produce millions of it in it, the fancy camera stuff, than having a bunch of small ones. It's also easier to fly up, it's easier to maintain, design, correct, and everything. But there are advantages of many small telescopes, not for astronomical purposes, but for asteroid impact, they'll give you a lot wider viewing and will help us clear out that because a lot of it's we don't have telescopes trained on the space and looking everywhere. So a lot wider view with many more telescopes. There's going to be we can get many small telescopes can have up to a higher resolution image than one big one. 100 small telescopes can act almost as 100 meter telescope. It's complicated, depends on how they're lined up and everything. The viewing port and stuff, sometimes it can be actually more or less. We could use it to get more 3D images of the asteroid, which would be very useful in trying to predict its trajectory and how impacts and stuff would alter it or other devices. If one point fails, doesn't destroy the whole entire system. And we could also promote it by saying that this will promote new tech innovations, and this new tech innovations would help the space industry as a whole, but it would also help develop better cameras and lenses, which could help us on Earth from anything from microscopy to medical diagnosis to robot cars. It could help us invent better solar cells, reaction wheel controls for gyroscopes, for everything. And this has done in the past with space, so it's not an exaggeration. We could also use it to make a better Wi-Fi communication network, and I think this could be a broad selling point for outer spacecraft, so it can beam a lot more data. This is actually a huge problem with space right now, is that a lot of places we don't have the capacity to beam up all the data we could be getting. So that could be a huge help. And another one that I just thought about is we could use it to also monitor the sun better and produce high resolution images, because For that one, it's more important to have stuff trained on many small points. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard, but with your help, I think I can do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much again. Goodbye.